But in the energy industry, coal is an energy source. There's a lot of opportunities for people to, in the coal industry, to think about safety is a big issue in the coal industry. Any industry where people routinely die or kill their neighbors with various environmental problems is not a green industry. So a coal miner could go to work with a green attitude and say, I'm going to work safely today. I'm going to try and figure out ways to make to reduce the energy. I'm not going to leave the engine idling on the truck that I'm using or whatever. And in every, as I started out, I said the United States economy is in a transformation. This is going to affect every industry. If someone had the choice between going to work for a coal company, a coal mining company, or going to work for a company excavating to put in ground loop heat pumps, I would say maybe if you're thinking green, you might choose the job that was in the green industry. So you can look that it's more green. The trends in green are getting the same, not more so much, but getting the same level of comfort or the same level of productivity, but using less energy to do it. Other green trends are detoxifying. There's a book that did that sheet get handed out? That book,
yes.
That's a book that is called Cradle to Cradle: Remaking the Way We Make Things. If you want to, it's somewhat in some ways it's a little bit technical, other ways it's very readable. But that's a way to get a sense of what the deep changes are that are going on. That book makes a point. It says being less bad is not being good. And if you look at, if we reduce the amount of toxins we dump into the environment by 10% a year for 5 years, over that period of time, we've still been dumping toxics into the environment. We are not solving the problem of the eventual outcome of dumping toxics into the environment is a toxic environment, an environment that will not be able to deliver, sustain us in the way we would like to be sustained. So that was in that book. That's a good sort of overview of trends in green thinking. One issue that I struggle with is trying to get PVC-free or halogen-free chemicals in or products for electrical work. But one of my contentions for this presentation is any job can be a green job. If you're doing cleaning, you can listen to your customers. If they say they're concerned about their children having asthma, then you can talk to your coworkers or your employer and say, hey, isn't there something that's less destructive that we can put out into our environment and can be better for our customers? And the company that does that is going to be the company that's going to stay in business when the other companies are just kind of running out of business. Asheville is really a hotbed. It's almost like a little oven for green innovation. And in the last 3 years, I think 3 or 4 specialized home and office cleaning companies have sprouted up. They're focused on using, being green, using less toxic chemicals. But even then, it doesn't stop there when they have an advertising campaign. It stops to them listening to their customers and getting new information about what the customers are concerned about and how they can improve their products and choose chemicals that are less destructive. I want to give an overview of more conventional green jobs. Who's hiring? Weatherization contractors, as I mentioned, a lot of that is going into, those are people who go into existing houses and they help make them airtight and they insulate them, and they might help the homeowner update with low flow shower heads or give them some tips on how to buy an energy efficient dishwasher. But those types of weatherization opportunities, they're out there. The federal government is putting a lot of money into that through their various programs, and they tend to be not-for-profit, so you can look in that sector. Insulation contractors, Progress Energy, which is Asheville's utility. I don't know who it is here, but they have the home energy improvement program. So they are going out and they are interacting with other insulation contractors, and they're trying to get them to improve quality, and they're subsidizing insulation of attics. So there's more incentive for people to do the upgrades on older houses. Just plain old carpentry or plumbing or electrical, fixing existing houses. The banks don't seem to be wanting to give us money to build new things. So the people who are ending up with these older houses tend to be thinking, well, how can we fix them up and make them greener or upfit them with windows? And in my field specifically, there is hiring going on in the solar electric field. If you want to get into the solar electric field, please be aware that you have to climb on roofs. You have to do things that most people would choose not to do, ever. I happen to have noticed when I have worked with my coworkers that an unreasonable proportion of them are mountain climbers. Well, that's kind of a clue. So if you want to work in the solar electric industry, think about roofs. I mean, there are jobs. My first job on a very big project, I never got more than 3 inches off the ground. But a lot of effort is going into putting solar panels on roofs because they're already casting a shadow, and the roofs are near where people need the electricity. I hope I've done a little bit. Do you have a question?
No, but you also have geothermal, no?
Geothermal?
Yes.
Right. Well, that's underground. I mean, that's
Exactly.
digging down. Right. And once again, geothermal heat pump. It's just a slightly different technology. It's a similar task to install it. There might be a specialized contractor drilling the holes to put the ground lifts in. But just to summarize, green jobs are everywhere, and you can make what you're doing now or what you have the most experience or the most interest in, you can make it green. And you can choose your next job, if you come to change a job, with an eye on green trends. And if you want to get a sense of what the green trends are, I recommend Cradle to Cradle, remaking the way we make things.